Scene one, apple, take one. Scene one, apple, take one.
Welcome to our live Raider Strong Network broadcast from beautiful Pulaski, Wisconsin. It's time for the 411, the show produced by students for students. And now, your arson host for today's broadcast.
Good morning, Raiders. I'm Jessica Gaska.
And I'm Hunter Chrisman. Thanks for joining us today.
Snow means go slow. As the weather gets colder, administration would like to remind you to stay safe while driving.
To all juniors, ACT prep is so much fun on the weekends, so be sure to go to Drive for 25 PHS for more information.
For all sophomores and juniors, students interested in joining Youth Apprenticeship, there will be an informational meeting next Friday, December 14th in the auditorium during homeroom.
Black Friday shopping can always be fun or dangerous. Teresa Van Stee went around school and asked students what their best bargains or stories were. Here's what she heard in the hall.
Personally, I got a new PlayStation Black Friday. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I got a bargain Black Friday shopping. I got 40% off on a TV.
I spent my bucks on this bargain. You know what I'm saying?
I got a deal. I got some weird Korean shoes for like $10. It's pretty rad. Yeah.
Speaking of stories, Sienna Potts discussed with Kendra Brockman and Riley Miller some of the Christmas stories available for checkout in the Hub.
The book is called The Paper Bag Christmas by Kevin Crane Melvin. It's about a boy who was on a list to get an organ transplant, so all he wanted for Christmas was to get his transplant. Then he met a guy named Moreland, who was like this really kind person, who found another girl in the hospital who was getting a transplant, so they have to get through that transplant, and with that to Christmas, Santa gave him his transplant.
My story is called The 13th Day of Christmas by Jason F. Wright. It is a very touching story, and you get kind of emotional and really get into the characters. It is from all the perspectives of all the characters, and it's about a family who is going through a rough time, and they end up moving to a trailer home. And in the family, there's this little girl named Charlie, and she's very brave and she's very nice, and she ends up meeting her neighbor, who's like an 88-year-old, and they become best friends. Well, something tragic happens to one of the characters, and it's close to Christmas time, and they just want everything to get better by Christmas time. You're going to have to find out the ending and read it yourself.
Did you know that communication skills constantly rank in the top 5 traits employers look for when hiring? One way to improve your communication skills is to join the PHS Forensics team. Here's more on forensics in this week's Club Profile.
So forensics is a way that you can build your public speaking skills. There's a bunch of different categories. So, for example, prose, poetry, storytelling, group interpretation. There's a lot of categories for different people depending on what your interests are and if you would rather do it solo or with a group. I do storytelling. What that entails is there's 4 stories that you memorize, and then you perform one at each competition. So usually in a competition there's 3 different rounds. I perform 3 of my 4 stories in each competition that we perform in.
A ton of skills that really are applicable to any area you might be going into, and even in your personal life. Speaking in front of others, preparing a speech, and simply a confidence of doing something on your own or with a group. And certainly any job that you go into, they look for those skills. A lot of people might be interested in, say, engineering or computers, but if they have forensics on their resume or on an application, that always lets the interviewer know that they're well diversified and confident in front of a group. If you're thinking about joining forensics, but you're a little worried about the obligation, basically, we have 4 competitions, and one of those includes state, which you'll hopefully get to. So we have conference, which is the area schools compete. We then have sub-district, much like your athletic competitions, which is the first level. District, and if you make it beyond district, then you go to state. So really, we're talking about four competition dates, which is very doable.
State is really cool whenever we are able to make it. We go down to Madison and we perform at the campus, UW campus, which is always really fun. So we spend the day, we drive down, we have lunch, and then we perform, which is really cool. It's a good time to spend with the teammates.
We are very flexible. Obviously, during the day with PLTs, Mr. Manning and I have free time. You could sign in much like you would a writing conference for a writing course. It could be before school, after school, and that's on a daily basis. And in week to week, you sort of set the schedule. If you want to meet once a week, once every 2 weeks, it's really driven by you and your schedule. It's a fun time, and we wanted to emphasize the flexibility of it. It's really designed to be something to do in addition to maybe a sport or the musical or any student council, whatever else you might be involved in.
The third member of our team is Jack Hayward.
Here's Jack with Jack of All Sports.
Hi, I'm Jack from Jack of All Sports. Girls basketball team is off to a 3-3 start and are getting ready to play Ashwaubenon tonight. Boys basketball is 1-1 and they have a game against Ashwaubenon also. Boys swimming is 0-1 and are ready to swim at Manitowoc tonight. Wrestling has a total record of 6-1. In a big match with conference title implications, the Red Raiders beat De Pere with a score of 39-33. Girls hockey is 4-2 so far and are first place in the Eastern Shore Conference. Boys hockey is off to a 3-4 start, and the JV team is doing well too. They have a 2-2-1 record. Tonight varsity plays Sheboygan. We have a preview for the season made by Brennan Willett.
Personally, my favorite pregame ritual is listening to Scott and the Brave before we go out on the ice, which is bagpipes.
I have a couple. I like to foam roll before games to loosen my muscles up. A lot of times I'll go for a jog around the rink. And then I have a couple hand-eye coordination drills that I do with the tennis ball, but that's about it.
And I think more people should watch our hockey games because we're intense, brutal, and entertaining. We work hard, and every single time we're down a point or 2 points, it could really help us out if we have more fans. And I'll really even show you what our true comeback is.
Yeah, I started out playing hockey out on the ponds of good old P-Town. Then my junior year was my first year ever playing for Schwab. And then I really liked it, so it's my second year, senior season, baby. Come out, senior night.
I've been playing hockey since kindergarten, and now I'm a senior, so this is my 13th year playing with the boys. Played with a couple different teams, and now I'm with the Jags.
My favorite thing about being a Jag is like being with everybody every day and creating like strong bonds with them, and it's almost like a family. Like you just get to meet new people every day, and it's always fun.
Hanging with the boys and buzzing around the ice.
Come out to our game tonight, Friday, December 7th. JV's at 6, varsity's at 8. Skate with the Jags after. Get some hot dogs, some hot chocolate, and some hot cocoa, and there might be cake. See you there.
To all FFA members, this year's Christmas party will be held at Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley after school Tuesday, December 18th. $5 includes pizza, soda, shoes, and 2 hours of bowling. The bus will arrive at the end of the school day. See Mr. Pettis or Mr. Santee for a permission slip.
Also, fruit will be delivered next week, Tuesday, the 11th. If you sold fruit, you must pick it up by 6 p.m. on Tuesday.
For all students who would like a poinsettia, they are for sale in the greenhouse for $10 each.
That's all the time we have for you today. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great Friday and rest of your weekend, Raiders.